All right. Well, sorry that we can't do Fun Facts Friday today, but there's always next week. And I just want to go through a couple examples here. For the first one, they just want the domain, and I'm not going to do the full-on graph, but the domain, you really have to pay attention to the vertical asymptotes, which in this case would be at -5 and 4. So the domain going left to right, so coming from this way, it would be -infinity to the first vertical asymptote, and then that vertical asymptote to the next one. And then 4 to infinity would be the domain there. This one I'm going to do without sketching a graph. So the first vertical asymptote's at -1. So it's going to be -infinity to -1. And then -1 to 5. And then 5 to infinity. Honestly, we've done examples like this, so I'll leave that for you to do, but I'll go right to example 3. Okay. So the x-intercepts are hiding in the numerator. They are -3, 0. That's the opposite of x plus 3. And then 5, 0. So -3 and 5. For an additional point, 0 is the easiest number to sub in. That's also your y-intercept. So it's going to be -2. Well, 0 plus 3. So everywhere I see x, I'm going to plug in 0. So that's 3. 0 minus 5 is -5. Over, see, 0 times 0 minus 1 squared. And I notice we have a 0 here, so dividing by 0 is no good. And the reason this is not going to work is that 0 is actually one of our vertical asymptotes. So we'll come back to that additional point in a second. But for the vertical asymptotes, if you set the denominator equal to 0, so I'll do it off to the side here, so x so our vertical asymptote will be 0 and x equals 1. And x equals 1 is going to be an even vertical asymptote. So here's x equals 1. And then x equals 0. Not much space between them. Let me move them a little further apart. Okay, that's better. Okay. All right, so if we can't sub in 0, we can't sub in 1. How about we sub in, let's do 2. I guess that's makes sense. So sub in 2. So f of 2 equals -2. 2 plus 3 is 5. 2 minus 5 is -3. Over 2 times 2 minus 1 is 1. So let's see, that would be 30 over 2, which is 15. Now we need to determine if this is balanced or bottom heavy. If I were to multiply the first terms, I would get -2x to the second, plus some other garbage we don't care about, over, well, x times x squared would be x to the third. So this is bottom heavy, which means the horizontal asymptote is at y equals 0. let's do this here. And I'm just going to extend it towards the left and right. I'm not going to go all the way across because the horizontal asymptote only describes like the end behavior. So it's going to put y equals 0. Okay. All right, so this one's kind of weird. So here's what it's going to do. We have an additional point here. So it has to go through, it's an odd x-intercept, but then it's going to kind of curl back up and go towards that there. Okay. This is an an even vertical asymptote, but there's no x-intercept, so it's going to come down, and then it's going to go right back up. And at x equals 0, it's an odd vertical asymptote. So the domain is negative infinity to 0, 0 to 1, and then 1 to infinity. That's where the vertical asymptotes are. All right, I'll post my key for the rest of these, but give them a shot, and I'll see you on Monday.